My sister-in-law hijacked my son's birthday dinner and tried to stick me with an $800 bill, so I reminded her of one simple thing. She wasn't my guest. My name is Gabriella Mercer. I am 37 years old. 2 Saturdays ago, my sister-in-law walked into my son's birthday dinner with 8 people I never invited, took over half my reservation, and ordered like my credit card was a community fund. When the check came to $814, she looked at me like I was supposed to smile and pay. I didn't smile. It was Owen's 9th birthday. I had booked a table for 7 at the Reserve in Westport. Quiet corner. Chocolate cake with sparkler candles. Brenda showed up 20 minutes late with her sister's family, her friend, her friend's kid. Suddenly my table for 7 became 15 people. Then she ordered tomahawk ribeye for herself, $78, smoked old-fashioned, appetizer towers. She kept saying things like, "Don't worry, Gabriella's got us." 14 people watched her do it. When the server brought the check, Brenda slid it across to me without looking at the total. I looked at her. "You are not my guests." What Brenda didn't know was that I work in logistics. I route shipments. I solve capacity problems. Once I understood what she was trying to pull, I stopped negotiating and started separating. She thought she was using social pressure. What she created was a billing problem, and billing problems have solutions. Before I tell you how I moved my son's party to a private room and left her with the tab, please take a moment to like and subscribe. Drop a comment and let me know where you are watching from. Now let me take you back to how this started. People have always described me the same way. Reliable, organized. Good in a crisis. For years I thought those were compliments. Then I got older and realized what they actually meant. You will carry more than your share. You will not complain. We can hand you the mess and call it trust. Brenda married my brother-in-law Ethan 6 years ago. I remember the engagement party. She was loud in a way I mistook for confident. She laughed at everything, hugged everyone, kept saying how excited she was to be part of the family. I wanted to like her. I tried. The first incident was small. We went to brunch in Stamford about 2 months after the wedding. Me, Daniel, Ethan, Brenda. The bill came to $184. We were splitting it when Brenda gasped and said, "Oh my God, I left my wallet in my other purse." She laughed, like it was charming. I covered her half, $46. Daniel gave me a look in the car, but I said it was fine. Everyone forgets sometimes. 2 weeks later, same restaurant, same 4 people, same gasping sound. I cannot believe I did it again. $52. I paid, but I started keeping track. Then the expansion started. I would book a table for 6. Brenda would arrive with 8. She would say, "I assumed it was fine," and suddenly I was absorbing 2 extra entrées and wine I never ordered. The first time, the overage was $73. I paid because making a scene felt worse than losing the money. She offered my SUV for airport pickup without asking. She volunteered me to coordinate her friend's baby shower, not asked volunteered. In the group chat, "Gabriella's going to handle the venue and invites. She is so good at this stuff." 3 heart emojis. I stared at that message. My jaw hurt from clenching. I typed 5 responses and deleted them all. Finally, happy to help. Let's discuss budget. Brenda never discussed budget. When the deposit came due and her friend's card declined, I was standing there with the event coordinator staring at me. $300 on my card. She texted later. "You are the best. I will Venmo you soon." She never did. I kept a spreadsheet. Every brunch tab, every dinner overage, every deposit. Over 6 years, $4,163. Not enough to ruin me. Enough to prove I wasn't imagining it. I started noticing a pattern in how she talked. Whenever she wanted something, she would add this qualifier. "I am just trying to make it fun." Like fun was a shield object, and you are the boring one. I invited Talia because I am just trying to make it fun. "Let's get champagne." "Come on, Gabriella. I am just trying to make it fun." And if I hesitated, she had tilt her head. Her voice would get softer, almost hurt. "You don't want to. The implication. What kind of person doesn't want fun? Whenever I pushed back, the family smoothed it over. Lydia would say, "You know how Brenda is." Ethan would shrug. "She doesn't mean anything by it." Even Claire once said, "At least she likes you enough to include you." Include me in what? Paying for her. Daniel was the only one who said it plainly. We were in bed after another hijacked dinner. Brenda had ordered for the table without asking, and I had covered an extra $90, he said. "You keep calling this keeping the peace, from where I am sitting. It looks like unpaid labor." I didn't answer. My throat was too tight. She knows what she is doing. "Gabriella, you think it is on purpose?" "I think she is doing it because it works." That landed hard. Before Owen, I could tell myself the inconvenience stopped with me. After Owen was born, I couldn't ignore it anymore. Because he was watching. He was 3 the first time I noticed him absorb it. Family barbecue. I would brought potato salad. Brenda announced she had forgotten her assigned dish, and asked if she could just take credit for mine since it is all family anyway. I said yes. I always said yes. Owen tugged my sleeve later. "Aunt Brenda said she made your salad." "I know, buddy. But you made it. It is okay." He looked confused. Like he was trying to work out rules that didn't make sense. Last year, Ethan said something that made me want to throw a plate. We were loading the dishwasher after dinner. Owen was in the living room. Lydia had asked me to coordinate the Christmas gift exchange, organize the menu, and book the photographer. 3 tasks Brenda had agreed to and forgotten. Ethan laughed and said to Daniel, "Just let Gabriella handle it. She is good at this stuff." Owen heard it. I saw the math happening behind his eyes. "Mom handles it. Mom's good at it, so Mom should do it." I did not want my son learning that competent women are communal property. I did not want him thinking the person who plans everything is the person everyone's allowed to overrun. I did not want him growing up to be a man who says, "Just let her handle it." That was when I knew something had to change. I just didn't know it would be at his birthday dinner. This was never about being unable to pay $800. I am a logistics director. Daniel's an architect. We are comfortable. What mattered was what I would teach my son if I paid it. 2 weeks before the birthday, Owen had been talking about turning 9 since July. He had made a list: not presents, experiences, aquarium, learning to use Daniel's drill, staying up until 10 p.m. one night, and dinner at a real restaurant. We were in the kitchen when he asked. He was at the island doing homework, swinging his legs because they don't quite touch the floor. I was chopping vegetables. "Mom, for my birthday. Can we go somewhere fancy?" "How fancy? Like where they have the napkins that are cloth?" I smiled. "A tablecloth restaurant?" "Yeah. And they have steak. That is this big." He held his hands apart. "Like on television, you want a steakhouse?" He nodded so hard his hair bounced. "And can I order my own food? Not from the kids' menu? From the real menu?" My chest tightened. "Your kid says something that makes you realize they are growing up faster than you are ready for." "Yeah, buddy, we can do that." "Really? Really?" He pumped his fist. Then got serious. "Will it be just us, or will a lot of people come?" I knew what he was asking. He was asking if it would be the kind of family dinner where adults talk over him, and he ends up eating chicken fingers while everyone argues about politics. "Just the people who are there to celebrate you," I said. He smiled. "Okay." I called the reserve that afternoon. Booked for 7, requested the corner table because Owen likes watching cars. Confirmed chocolate cake with candles at 7:30, not later, because Owen gets cranky if dinner runs too long. The morning of his birthday, Owen came downstairs wearing the button-down shirt from his school concert, buttoned wrong and tucked crooked, but trying so hard. "Do I look fancy?" he asked. "You look very fancy. Will they let me order the big steak, if that is what you want?" "Yes." He nodded to himself. "Good, that is the moment I think about now." Owen smoothing down his shirt, excited in a way that was careful, like he didn't want to mess it up. If I would let Brenda hijack that dinner, and stuck me with the bill, here is what I would have taught him. Your excitement doesn't matter if someone louder shows up. Your mother will smile and absorb it because that is what women do. Planning doesn't protect you. Boundaries are negotiable if someone pushes hard enough. I couldn't do that to him. More than that, I couldn't do it to myself anymore. I had spent 6 years letting Brenda take up space, cost me money, ignore every boundary. Every time, I had told myself it was easier to just pay and move on. That fighting wasn't worth it, that I was being mature by not making it a thing. But Daniel was right. I wasn't being mature, I was being used. And the cost wasn't just money, it was self-respect. It was showing my son that his mother doesn't think her own plans matter. I realized something. If Brenda pulled her usual routine and I paid again, I wouldn't just be angry at her, I would be disgusted with myself. So when Saturday came, I made a decision. If she tried it, I wasn't going to argue. I wasn't going to explain. I wasn't going to appeal to fairness. I was just going to separate her from my son's birthday and let her deal with consequences. I didn't know exactly how yet, but I knew one thing. One of us was leaving that restaurant humiliated, and it wasn't going to be me. Saturday evening, 6:40 p.m. The Reserve is the kind of steakhouse where the hostess knows your name from the reservation, and the lighting makes everyone look expensive. White tablecloths, dark wood, soft jazz from speakers you cannot see. I arrived 15 minutes early because being early means I control the variables. Confirmed everything with the manager. Cake at 7:30, corner table, booth seating, candles ready. Owen kept running his hand along the tablecloth, like he would never felt fabric that smooth. He looked up at the chandelier. This place is fancy. It sure is. Am I allowed to order whatever I want? Within reason, yes. His eyes went wide. Even the lobster? Daniel laughed. If you want lobster, birthday boy, you can have lobster. Owen sat up straighter, trying so hard to look grown up. Claire arrived at 6:55, hugged Owen, slid into the booth. Lydia came a few minutes later, apologizing for traffic. 7 p.m. Ethan and Brenda still weren't there. 7:10, I texted. On your way. Almost there, Brenda's finishing her makeup. 7:15. The server asked if we wanted to order drinks while we waited. I asked for 10 more minutes. Owen was fidgeting, twisting his napkin, his excitement deflating into nervousness. I squeezed his hand. They are coming. Then the door opened. Brenda walked in first, loud. You could hear her before you saw her, laughing, gesturing wildly, bracelets jangling, behind her. Ethan. Then Marcy, Brenda's sister, Rick, Marcy's husband, 2 teenage boys. Talia, Brenda's friend. Talia's 6-year-old daughter, in a pink dress. 8 extra people. My table for 7 just became 15. I felt it in my stomach first. That dropping sensation, then my hands went cold. Brenda swept toward us with her arms out. Surprise? More family? The more the merrier, right? She kissed Owen on the head. He looked startled. Happy birthday. Sweet boy. Look how many people came to celebrate you. Owen looked at me. Did you know about this? I didn't move. Couldn't. My brain was trying to catch up. Brenda was already directing traffic. We are gonna need to push tables together. Rick, grab those chairs. Talia, you sit here. The hostess appeared, looking confused. Madam, this reservation was for 7. Brenda waved her off. It is fine. It is a birthday. We will make it work. Can you just bring more chairs? The hostess looked at me. Everyone's eyes. My mouth was dry. Heart pounding. I kept my voice quiet. Brenda, this reservation was for 7 people. She turned, smiling, but her eyes had that look. The one that said I was being difficult, and now it is for more, like it was a gift. You didn't ask me. Oh, come on, Gabriella, don't be like that. Like what? You know. She tilted her head. Voice softer, almost hurt. Uptight. There it was. I was the problem. It is not being uptight to expect, it is a birthday, not a hostage negotiation. She laughed, looked around inviting others to join in. Marcy giggled nervously. Chairs were being pulled over, table expanding, menus being handed out. The room bending around Brenda's momentum. I felt trapped. My jaw hurt. I wanted to scream, grab Owen and leave. But we were in public and walking out would cause a scene. And Owen would think his birthday was ruined because of me. So I sat there. The server came over. Young guy, early 20s. So we are at 15 now. Brenda answered before I could. Yes, 15. And we are celebrating. She gestured at Owen. It is his 9th birthday. The server smiled at Owen. Happy birthday, buddy. What can I get you to drink? Owen looked small. He glanced at me, then at all the extra people. Lemonade, you got it. Brenda leaned across the table. Let's start with appetizers for the table. Everyone loves appetizers. Shrimp cocktail tower, bacon-wrapped scallops, and the artichoke dip. Nobody objected. She had phrased it like a done deal. The server was writing. 3 appetizers for the table. Yes, perfect. I should have said something, but my throat felt tight and I couldn't get words out fast enough. She was moving too fast. Then drinks. I will have a smoked old-fashioned. Marcy Pinot, perfect. Talia, espresso martini. Boys, virgin mules. Rick, bourbon. She was ordering for everyone. I watched it happen. Hands shaking in my lap. Daniel leaned close. Do you want me to say something? I shook my head, the server. And for entrees, Brenda scanned the menu. I will do the tomahawk ribeye, medium rare. $78. For the table, let's get sides. Truffle mac and cheese, Brussels sprouts, creamed spinach. Marcy, sounds perfect. The server nodded. And these are for the whole table? Yep. My face felt hot. Lydia was watching me. Claire stared at her water glass. Owen tugged my sleeve, whispered. Mom? Did you say all these people could come? I looked at him, his face so open, so confused. No, baby. Then why I don't know? Brenda heard us. Big, bright smile. Owen, aren't you excited? Look how big your party is. Owen didn't answer. Looked down at his napkin. That was when something shifted. Something cold and clear. I stopped feeling panicked. Started calculating. 15 people. 8 unauthorized. 3 apps ordered. Sides. Brenda's $78 steak. Drinks. I looked at table layout. Who was sitting where? Who was invited? Who wasn't? The server was hovering. I didn't interrupt. Let Brenda keep going. Let her order her friend's daughter a kid's meal. Extra bread. Suggest splitting a dessert trio. Daniel caught my eye. He knows when I have switched modes. What are you thinking? I said quietly. I am thinking about seating charts. Brenda was still performing, telling some story, making sure everyone was laughing, being fun. At one point she said it directly. It is fine. I am just trying to make it fun. That is what birthdays are for. Owen was pushed against the wall, trying to reach his lemonade, and couldn't quite get to it. That was it. I stopped worrying about looking cruel. I caught the server's eye. Is the private room available? Which room? The one I asked about when I made the reservation. He checked his tablet. Yes, it is open. I need to speak to the manager. My job is volume forecasting. I wrote shipments. I solve problems by understanding systems. Here's my rule. Confusion favors the person creating it. Brenda thought this was a moral problem. Be generous and pay, or be petty and refuse. Those weren't the choices. This was operational. Who was on the original reservation? 7. Who arrived unauthorized? 8. What was ordered where? Which space was reserved for which party? If you control the seating, you control the bill. If you control the bill, you control the outcome. Daniel knew something had shifted. What do you need? The manager. 5 minutes. Then we are moving. Brenda was still performing, laughing too loud, asking the server for recommendations, then ignoring them. She thought she had won. Thought social pressure had locked me in. She had no idea I had already left the moral argument. I walked to the host stand. My palms were sweating. I kept my purse pressed against my side so my hands wouldn't shake visibly. For about 10 seconds, standing there waiting, I almost lost my nerve. What if this made me look crazy? What if Lydia never forgave me? What if people talked about this for years, as the time Gabriella ruined a child's birthday over money? My mouth was dry. I swallowed, and it hurt. Then I remembered Owen's face when Brenda showed up. The way his excitement drained. The way he had asked if I knew they were coming. I wasn't doing this for me. I was doing this for him, Richard. The manager appeared. Calm professionalism, Miss Mercer. I took a breath. I made a reservation for 8 additional guests arrived without notice. I didn't invite them, and I am not authorizing payment. I need you to separate my party onto a different check and move us to the private room I asked about earlier. He didn't blink. The private room is available. We can absolutely separate the checks. How would you like us to handle items already ordered for the table? Anything ordered for the whole table stays with the group that ordered it. My party of 7 will order fresh in the private room. Understood. Give me a few minutes to coordinate with your server. I will come to the table and facilitate the move. Thank you. He walked away. I stood there, breathing. My hands were still shaking. I felt like I might throw up, but I also felt something I hadn't felt in 6 years of dealing with Brenda. Like I was about to take back something that belonged to me. When I got back to the table, Daniel was waiting near my seat. He stood. Well, we are moving. When the manager comes over, I need you to help me get Owen and the others to the private room without making a production. What about them? He nodded toward Brenda's end. They stay here. They invited themselves. They can finish what they started. He looked at me, then said something I will never forget. I am proud of you. My throat got tight. I haven't done it yet. You are doing it right now. We sat back down. Brenda didn't notice we had been gone. She was showing Talia something on her phone, laughing, oblivious. I looked at Owen, sitting quietly, picking at his napkin. I leaned close. Hey, you okay? Yeah, I know this got kind of crazy. It is okay. It is not okay. But I am going to fix it. He looked up. How? You will see. Just trust me. He nodded. He always trusts me. That is what killed me. He trusted me to make his birthday good. And I would let Brenda turn it into chaos. Not anymore. 3 minutes later, Richard appeared at the table. Richard walked up calmly. Professional, he addressed me by name. Miss Mercer, we have the private room ready for you. Every conversation at the table stopped. Brenda froze mid-laugh. What? Richard continued, speaking to me. If you and your original party of 7 would like to follow me, we will get you situated. Your server will be with you shortly. Brenda's smile faltered. Wait, what private room? Richard turned to address the full table now. Polite, clear. The reservation holder has requested that her original party continue in our private dining room. The additional guests are welcome to remain here, and will be on a separate check. The silence felt like it lasted an hour. Probably 3 seconds, Brenda blinked. Separate check? Yes, madam. But we are all together. The reservation was for 7 guests. Miss Mercer has clarified which 7 guests are part of her party. Brenda turned to me. Her face was doing something complicated. Confusion, disbelief, the beginnings of anger. Gabriella. What is this? I met her eyes. My voice was calm. I am continuing my son's birthday dinner with the people I invited. This is insane. You brought 8 extra people to a reservation for 7. You never asked permission. You ordered food I didn't authorize. That is what is insane. Her voice went up. We are family, I said it clearly. Loud enough for the whole table. You are not my guests, someone gasped. I think it was Marcy. The server was standing off to the side with a water pitcher, completely frozen. Talia was staring at her menu, like she wanted to disappear. The 2 teenage boys looked at each other, trying to figure out if they were in trouble. Lydia's face had gone pale. Brenda's voice got sharp. You are seriously doing this, splitting us up at a birthday dinner. You split it up when you showed up with people I never invited. It is a few extra people. Normal families don't act like this. Normal families don't hijack birthdays. Oh my God, she threw her hands up. This is about control. You always have to control everything. I kept my voice level. This is not about steak. This is about consent. Consent. It is a restaurant, you didn't ask. You assumed. You showed up. You expanded my reservation. You ordered expensive food. And you assumed I had just absorbed the cost because I always do. That ends tonight. Brenda looked around the table, looking for allies. Is anyone else hearing this? This is crazy, right? Marcy wouldn't look up. Talia cleared her throat and stared at her phone. Rick said quietly, maybe we should just know. Brenda cut him off. She turned back to me. Her voice shifted. Got softer. Almost hurt. Gabriella, come on. Don't do this. I was just trying to make it fun. You know me. I am just trying to make it fun. There it was, her shield. I looked at her. Fun for who? For everyone? Owen's been sitting quietly for 20 minutes, because you turned his birthday into your performance. He cannot even reach his drink because your guests took his seat. This isn't fun. This is you, using my money and my son's birthday to be the center of attention. Her mouth opened, closed. She had nothing. Richard stepped in, madam. I need to know how you would like to proceed. I stood up, smoothed my dress, picked up my purse. Owen, Daniel, Claire, Lydia. We are moving to the private room. The birthday continues there. Owen stood immediately. He looked relieved. Daniel helped him gather his things. Claire stood without a word. Lydia hesitated. She looked at Brenda, then at me. Then she stood. Richard gestured toward the back. Right this way. Brenda's voice rose. So that is it, you are just leaving us here. I turned back. Looked at her directly. You are not being left. You are staying exactly where you chose to be, with the people you invited. At the table you expanded, ordering food you selected. We cannot afford this. Then you shouldn't have ordered the tomahawk ribeye. Her face went red. This is cruel. Number cruel was assuming you could use my son's birthday as an excuse to stick me with an $800 bill. I started walking. Daniel followed with Owen. Claire was right behind them. Lydia came last, moving slowly. Behind me, I heard Brenda's voice crack. Gabriella Washington. I didn't stop. We followed Richard through the restaurant, past other tables, past the bar, to a side hallway I hadn't noticed before. He opened a door to a small private room. Warm lighting, a round table set for 7 windows, overlooking the parking lot. But it felt quiet, separate, safe. Your server will be right with you, Richard said. And I will have the birthday cake transferred to this room. Thank you, he left. Closed the door. For a moment, nobody said anything. Then Owen said quietly, Are we in trouble? I knelt down next to him. No, baby, you are not in trouble. You were never in trouble. Why did Aunt Brenda bring all those people? I don't know. She made you sad. My chest tightened. I am not sad anymore. I am actually okay now. Really? Really. Because now it is just us, the people who came to celebrate you. He thought about that. Then he smiled a little. This room is nice. It is, isn't it? Daniel put his hand on my shoulder. Squeezed. Claire said. Holy shit, Gabriella. Lydia looked like she wanted to say something, but couldn't figure out how to start. I sat down. My hands were still shaking. My heart was still pounding, but I felt something else underneath it. I felt free. The energy returned. Owen smiled when the cake came with sparklers. Claire asked about school. He talked about volcanoes, gesturing with his fork. This was what I had wanted. Owen feeling celebrated. My phone vibrated. Brenda. 3 texts. I cannot believe you did this. You humiliated me. Fix this then, Ethan. Can we not make this a thing? I turned my phone face down. Ignored them during the birthday song. Lydia tried later. Maybe this could have been handled differently. It could have been prevented differently. For the first time in years, I didn't rescue the problem, and the world didn't end. Owen leaned against me, full and happy. This was a good birthday, Mom. My throat got tight. Yeah. Later, Claire pulled me aside. That was the most badass thing I have ever seen. I laughed shakily. I almost threw up twice, but you did it anyway. In the parking lot, Daniel asked, You okay? I don't know yet. That took guts. I felt like I was going to pass out. But you stood there and said it. Do you think you are a bad person? Lydia does. Lydia's uncomfortable. Did you ruin Owen's birthday? I watched Owen through the window, showing his dessert to his dinosaur. Then, you didn't ruin it. You saved it. We drove home. Owen asleep in back, chocolate on his face. When we got home, I stood in the kitchen and let myself feel it. My hands were shaking, my jaw hurt. And underneath, I felt proud. That night, after Owen was asleep, I sat on the couch with my phone. 16 text messages. 3 missed calls. All from Brenda or Ethan or people in Brenda's orbit. I didn't read them all, I skimmed. Brenda, long paragraphs about how I had humiliated her. How family doesn't treat family this way. How she was just trying to bring people together, and I had weaponized a child's birthday. That phrase made me laugh. Weaponized Ethan. Short messages, asking me to be the bigger person, and let it go. Talia, one message, apologizing. I didn't know we weren't supposed to come. I am sorry if I caused problems. At least she had the decency to recognize reality. Marcy, nothing. Radio silence. Probably too embarrassed. I put the phone down, picked up my laptop, opened the spreadsheet I had been keeping for 6 years, $4,163. That is what I had covered for Brenda over time, not counting tonight. Tonight was $814. I didn't pay a cent of it. I closed the spreadsheet, deleted it. I didn't need it anymore. The next morning, the family group chat exploded. I woke up to 47 notifications. I didn't read them all, but I caught the themes. Some people saying I was technically right but too harsh. Some saying it was just dinner, and I had overreacted. A couple of silent observers who had watched Brenda operate for years, and clearly enjoyed the show. I didn't write a novel. I wrote 1 paragraph. The reservation was for 7 people. 8 additional guests arrived, uninvited. I did not authorize their attendance or their orders. I paid for the party I planned. Brenda paid for the party she expanded. I will continue to operate this way for all future events. Then I muted the chat. Daniel read it over my shoulder. Short and factual. Good. Think it will work? Probably not. But at least you are clear. He was right. The messages kept coming for days. Most I ignored. But 3 days later, Ethan called. I almost didn't answer, but I did. Hey, can we talk? We are talking now. I mean like, in person, coffee. I hesitated. Why? I just think maybe we can all move past this. Move past what? Silence. Ethan. Move past what, exactly? He couldn't say it. Couldn't say that Brenda showed up with 8 uninvited people and ordered food she couldn't afford and expected me to pay. Saying it out loud would mean admitting what happened. I just meant, I know what you meant. You want me to pretend it didn't happen, so Brenda doesn't have to feel bad. I am not doing that. She is really upset. That is not actually my problem. Come on, Gabriella. Did she apologize? She feels like you embarrassed her? Did she apologize? Silence again. That is what I thought. Ethan? I am not having coffee with you so you can tell me I was too harsh. I have spent 6 years being too soft. I am done. I hung up. My hands were shaking again. But this time it felt different. It felt like power. Over the next few weeks, I watched the family dynamics shift. Brenda doubled down on her victim narrative, posted cryptic things on social media about toxic family members, and people who don't understand generosity. I didn't engage, didn't comment, didn't clarify. Let her have her version. But I also didn't budge. 2 weeks later, Lydia invited us to Sunday dinner. I texted back, happy to come. Please confirm final head count, separate checks, she called, instead of texting. Gabriella, you don't need to. Yes, I do. It is just family. Then it should be easy to confirm who is coming and keep bills separate. She sighed. Long and tired. This is going to change things. Good. We went to the dinner. 7 people. Everyone who RSVP had. Everyone paid their own check. Brenda was frosty, didn't talk to me directly, made pointed comments to others about some people's priorities. I didn't take the bait. Ethan tried to smooth it over with jokes. They fell flat. Owen asked for seconds on dessert, and nobody made it a production. We left at 8:30, polite goodbyes. No drama. In the car, Daniel said, "That was excruciating." "Yep, but you didn't cave." "Nope. How do you feel?" "Weird, but okay." And I was okay. It wasn't comfortable, but it was honest. 1 month later, Brenda tested the boundary. Family birthday party for one of Lydia's friends. At a restaurant. Casual. Brenda texted the group chat the day before. "I am bringing my friend Sarah. She is hilarious. You guys will love her," I replied immediately. "Did you ask Lydia, Brenda? I am sure it is fine." "Me, ask her." Brenda, OMG Gabriella. It is one person me. Then asking should be easy. She didn't respond in the chat, but she also didn't bring Sarah. That was when I knew it had worked. She tested, I held. She backed down. The boundary was real now. Over time, fewer surprises happened, fewer expansions, fewer assumptions about my money or time or space. I wasn't invited to everything anymore. Some events I just didn't hear about. That was fine. I wasn't interested in events where my presence was based on my utility. But here is what I didn't expect. Owen noticed. Not in a bad way, in a good way. About 2 months after the birthday dinner, we were driving to school, and he said, "Mom, you were right." "About what?" "About Aunt Brenda. You said I don't have to make myself small for rude people." My chest tightened. "You remember that?" "Yeah. You said it at my birthday?" "I did. I told Jake that. At recess. He was being mean, and I told him I don't have to make myself small." I pulled over. Not because I needed to. Because I needed to see his face. "What happened?" He stopped. Yeah, he didn't know what to say. So he just left me alone. I hugged him across the center console. Hard. He squirmed. "Mom, you are squishing me." "Sorry, I am just proud of you." "For what?" "For standing up for yourself. You showed me how." That hit me harder than anything Brenda ever said. It is Sunday evening. 3 months later, I am at my kitchen island. Owen's birthday card still stacked on the counter. Daniel loading the dishwasher. Owen building with Legos. The house quiet in that good way. I think about that night often, not with regret, with something more complicated. I wish Brenda had been different. But wishing doesn't change people. Here is what I learned. First, about family. Family is not a free pass. Love without respect isn't love. Real family asks. Real family doesn't make you choose between self-respect and peace. Second, about competence. Being capable doesn't mean being available. Being calm doesn't mean being absorbent. The people who call you difficult when you set boundaries were enjoying your lack of them. Third, about boundaries. A boundary isn't cruelty just because someone loud dislikes it. The first time you stop absorbing the cost, people will call you mean. Let them. Their discomfort is not your emergency. If you have ever paid for peace with your money, time, or dignity, you are allowed to stop. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to protect your child's joy even if it disappoints entitled adults. I think about Owen asking, "Was I in trouble?" That was the moment I knew I had chosen right. I didn't just protect his birthday. I showed him what it looks like when someone disrespects you, and you don't accept it. Plans matter. Consent matters. You don't have to shrink for loud people. Those are lessons I want him to carry. Lessons I needed to learn myself. If you have ever had a family member treat your wallet or time like communal property, I would love to hear your story. Drop it in the comments. I paid for my son's birthday. Brenda paid for her own performance. 3 months later, I still think that is fair.